Excuse me on the tear. Been a long road, been some long years. Concrete pillow, I am bed. Whole lot of silence in my head. Check out our new station. Channel of my life in rotation. Used to only play pain and rage. Now I'm flipping to a different way.
Excuse me on the cheer. This time we're at the 10th annual Lifer Picnic. I was invited out by a good friend of mine, Eugene. I'm here with Eugene and Keith. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. But it was this event 10 years ago when I was in Pelican Bay Shoe, and I seen the picture of the event that gave me that first glimpse of hope. Hi, you fellas. Welcome to the tier. How you doing, Eugene?
Thanks, James. Yeah, my name's Eugene Day. For lack of a better term, I'm an old school lifer. And while I was doing life, I was an activist. I did a lot of stuff, and and in that activism, while I was in there, I met a good friend of mine, Keith Chandler, who was like a legendary jailhouse lawyer. I'll let him tell his own story. And one of the first things I did with him when I got out was start coming to these lifer picnics. I live up in Sacramento. This event is down here in Southern California, and it's an amazing thing, And I would just like to pass it over to Keith Chandler, legendary activist, holder of a law degree from a law school, also ex-lifer. I'll let him tell the story, but I would just say this: that him and his buddy Gary Red Dog have put this event together by themselves, and I'm super honored to be here again for the 10th time.
No, thank you. Yeah, my name's Keith Chandler. I'm a former lifer, 83 to 2004. When I got out, almost no lifers got out. And I think I'm always humbled when I hear people say that. It kind of makes me emotional, honestly, because it's like, that's what this grew into. And we were just trying to have some fun and welcome some guys home. It started out with one guy in Sacramento, Paul Brar, got out right after I did. And I didn't have it. There were no other people or anybody. My family wasn't there, and it was kind of strange. I got out, and there wasn't like a celebration. And I was like, I want other guys to have somebody welcome them. So we took Paul and his wife out, and then that developed into Paul and I taking the next person who came home, and then we all just kept getting together. And then a guy named Doc Miller, who's another legendary jailhouse lawyer guy from the 80s to 2000s. He started doing the same thing down here in LA, and it started growing. And pretty soon we couldn't go to restaurants. It was too big to have at somebody's house. And then Gary Ecker, my dear friend Gary, who I worked in the Folsom Library with for about 10 years, got out, and he stayed in one of these condos back here. And the first day he was free, we were jogging in this park, and we were just like, this is where the party's supposed to be, faith. And so this is the 10th year we've had it here. We missed a year for COVID, but it's just grown into this amazing thing. I think we probably have a couple hundred people here, even out this year. We've had up to 400 people. It's just an amazing ability. Guys can get together. You see old friends. We all transfer around the system. So you see guys at one prison and you're friends with, you never see them again. And then this is just an ability for everybody to get together. It's just grown into such an amazing thing. And we're just so happy everybody comes. And it's just kind of a, brotherhood of, guys who are out here trying to do good.
Yeah, and I'd like to add a few things to that, and thanks for that, Keith. I would say that, like, with 300 or 400 formerly incarcerated lifers in one place, I mean, do the math. Everyone's done like 25, 30, 35 years. I met a guy today that did like 55 years. I was like, holy shit. That's some real shit. You know what I mean? Like, I've done probably a quarter of a century of my life in prison. But yeah, coming to these events where like so many of us from all over the state can come and just kind of find a place to just be around our own brothers and sisters. A lot of formerly incarcerated,
lots of former life
incarcerated women here.
Yeah.
And as some of the content you might see on this video that's being put together, with the big group picture. There's nothing like it. Like, I've been doing this work in this space. I've worn so many different hats in this space. And this Lifer Picnic is one of the highlights. Like, I go up into the Capitol, I help change laws, I do this, I do that. But really coming to this Lifer Picnic is the stuff. And I'm super glad, excuse me on the tier, by my comrade James. made it to this picnic. You know what I mean? Like, thank you on the chair,
Yeah,
James.
exactly.
Hey, excuse me on the chair,
Yeah, no,
James.
this format right here, for me, it boils down to life of peer support.
Exactly.
I really applaud your efforts, and I want you to know that I benefited from those
Yeah,
publications, and I
it's
appreciate you and Eugene. Man, we go
no.
back. With Keith, could you maybe give us a roll call of some of the people that were here today?
Well, we were honored today. The former, I believe, head doctor of the Board of Parole hearings was here. Two governor-appointed board commissioners were here today, and others, well, a couple others tried to get here. I know that Eugene had worked with one of the representatives.
Yeah. Last year, I invited Assembly Member Sade Elawari. She's out of the district in downtown LA. This year, she couldn't make it, but one of her staffers,
Staffers are here.
Adene, made it. Last year, we also had some representatives from the LA Mayor's office. And and it's what I have to say is, in addition to all the formerly incarcerated people and their families that come here, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of people like in the movement and like in the know. A lot of BPH that
Yeah. I think we have 4 or 5 different parole board lawyers.
yeah, we got
here.
lawyers here.
Yeah,
We have
multiple
board
lawyers.
commissioners. We have some people in the political space. It's pretty badass. And like a lot of events that you have in this space are real specific to a specific topic. This one here is heavy on lifer issues, which are lawyers, board commissioners, lifer families, advocates. A lot of people from the treatment space here. Life Support Alliance out of Sacramento has a heavy presence here. The Anti-Recidivism Coalition, my
Crop.
organization, the Crop organization's heavy
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
10 Toes In. Any other orgs you can think of?
Gogi,
Gogi, oh man,
yeah,
how
thank
can I
you.
forget the Gogi crew? We got a bunch of people that are like dual cross
Yeah.
skilled. Like you might have somebody that's a Gogi coach who's also a drug and alcohol counselor, or working in the policy space, or works for ARC as a life coach.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean?
it's grown so much. Like the first year we did this, we we figured there would be a law enforcement presence at a point, because this was a really big party for this park, and there was a cop helicopter overhead, and the Blaine Park police came, and it was a big thing. And they're like, "You guys can't all be together in one space." Well, yes, we can. You should learn the law, officer. And so, after a year or two, some of the cops started coming to the party. I'm sure there were a couple of them who stopped by today, just undercover. Um, we've had parole officers come. We had a parole region like head person come a couple of years ago just to check it out, because he was getting asked to let parolees travel to the party. And he was like, "I'm going to come to this party and find out what the heck these guys are talking about. Why do you want to go to this party?" And then they started allowing travel passes. I think there's a guy or two from Sacramento that's actually here with permission of a parole officer.
Yeah.
So it's really evolved into a really wonderful thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Keith, and just for the listeners, how much time did you do?
21.
21 years.
Yeah. 83 to 2004.
I did, like I said, I did almost a quarter of a century. But I'll tell you, how I met Keith is, like, Keith was really a well-known activist inside, and so was I, in separate prisons. When Keith got out in 2004, he went right to work. Keith, like, literally the only one I know from a life sentence to working right on political campaigns, working in the law office, and he immediately became my best comrade, because I was like all mixed up in, like,
The
like
3 strikes.
like on Excuse Me on the Tier, we talk about a lot of people that are all wrapped up in the business, like, the business in there, the politics. I was in the different type of politics in there. I was like the lawyer for the criminals up in there, representing myself and others, because we get in trouble in there, and we're trying to get some due process and some constitutional rights, because in prison is such a dark and dreary place. But yeah, it's one of the highlights of this. Like, this is such a success story, this event. Like, when you look at the group picture and all those people in there, not everybody that was in there are actually people that don't jump in the picture. There's some people that left early. It's a pretty good representation of a bunch of people that were never supposed to get out. Like James says a lot on his channel.
Yeah.
He's talking to people that are hoping to get out, and he's talking about different people. They're like two guys talking on his channel that are just shocked to be out.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, damn, dude, you know, like
Yeah.
because of all the time that guys like James and others have done in the shoe, where it's like there was a time when like guys like Keith's responsible for getting out more people than any 10 lawyers I know. You know, he has a law degree. He works. He's like a premier activist, subject matter expert on this stuff. Lots of lawyers. He's a go-to for many lawyers, and it's like Keith used to have a hard time. I'll let Keith speak it himself. Like you could getting model inmates out with no disciplinaries was difficult. You know, guys like James and I would say like, excuse me, on the tier cohort, they got in hell of trouble. You know what I mean? And it's like, and they're free, and you know what? And the data supports that because the data supports that once you've done a couple of decades in prison, you usually don't come back. You know, so all these people here, like James said, this is probably one of the safest places you could be.
Yeah. I ran into a guy that was serving his life sentence back here today at the picnic, and I recognized him right away. It was a trip, you know.
The basketball guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuckoo. He will be coming on the channel too, I think, and it'll be interesting. You know, for a lot of my life, I tried to cover up my character defects, run from them. Didn't have anybody that I could connect to, talked about with, even in reintegration. Uh, our families, you know, and a lot of like it's true. A lot of guys here, man. We when programs came, we took advantage of programs, and we got trained up in little things. And then reentry, that's what I like about this event because that window of life for 10 years before that, people were not going home.
Exactly.
And I took the blue pill and the red pill all at the same time, and I'm better now.
We didn't know it, but we were kind of in a way doing what you're doing in a way.
Yeah.
This is our little small part of that. It's really cool, and we're just humbled every year because it's just such a family kind of thing. It's really cool.
And as this work kind of starts going into like the podcast world where it needs to be, you know, this event here is just super special. You know, there aren't that many times when you get 400 formerly incarcerated lifers in the same place.
I'm very humbled, and thank you for influencing my life in a positive direction with something
Small
like
way.
this. This ripple is
Yeah.
real. I was affected by it. Eugene, a lot of love, respect. We should, that's why I'm here today, and I'm grateful to be here with you guys. Any last words, maybe to somebody that's struggling or anything right now that you'd like to?
I would just say this, you know, like, you know, life's a marathon. It's not a sprint, you know what I mean? And people like come from my background. We often make the mistake of like sprinting places, you know? So it's just like, my suggestion to someone is like, you know, go slow in life. You know what I mean? You get too caught up, you get going too fast. We make the same mistakes over and over. You know, take a breath, man. You know, reach out to somebody if you're struggling. Like myself, you know, I'm a 3 striker. So I've screwed up many times, you know what I mean? And I'm just grateful to be out here, to be free, to be clean, to be sober, to have a higher power, and to just humble myself. You know what I mean? So
You know, I would say that to guys, if anybody's in there seeing it, who's struggling, who's trying to figure out, you know, which way they want to go or what they're going to do. A lot of lifers, you know, a lot of guys serving long periods of time, they have that struggle. You were just talking about it. And what I would say to you is that I was a fuck up at Folsom Prison in the 80s and 90s. That was where all the professional fuck ups were sent. And I was fucking up there.
Yeah.
Now I have a law degree. I passed the bar exam. And people, literally other lawyers in other countries, call me to learn about the prison system. I'm doing work for a lawyer in Holland right now who has a client here. I was the biggest F up on the team. So you get to make your choices. And if you decide you really want something bad enough, you can have it.
Yes, sir.
You really can. And the world has changed. And, you know, it's a wonderful thing. Do your part, do your job, and fix yourself, and you'll be done. You'll be free.
Yeah.
You will be.
find your place out here.
Yeah, freedom is real. Yeah. Thank you on the tier.
Yes, thank you on the tier.
Yeah, mad love and props to Red and Keith for coming up with this event. It's one of the premier formerly incarcerated reentry events in California, which is really the epicenter of prison reform work in the United States.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you on the tier.
Thank you guys for, putting
Thank
us
you on
out
the
there.
tier.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, there you have it, another one. But I'm going to tell you this, for me as a formerly incarcerated lifer, has been a special event. I'm glad that I came. I see all my brothers. I feel familiar. It's the safest place on earth right now. Thank you on the tier.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tap in, smash that subscribe button. Live from Boys to Rank Park, June 27th. This isn't just a picnic. This is a resurrection. Welcome back to the world. Yo. It's the 10th annual, the Etcher Consulting Tribe. No vendors, no sellers, just a pure healing vibe. Hat Boy, yes, a rank park where the grass is finally real. No concrete walls, it's a space where we can heal. 75-20 Delsty, mark the coordinates down. 150 lifers taking over the town. Decades in the shadow, decades behind the wall. But today we stand together and we're standing tall. Excuse me while we flood the 5 in the 91 split. 150 lifers, yeah, this is it. No more numbers on our chest, no more cell doors to slam. Just brothers and sisters figuring out who I am. Check the group photo, 3 p.m. sharp. The ultimate comeback story right here in the park. We spent 20, 30, 40 years locked in a cage. Now we're turning the book and we're writing a new page. We don't need no corporate setup, we don't need no retail. Just peer-to-peer support, helping each other prevail. The weight of institutional trauma is heavy and deep, but we're the ones who survive the secrets the prisons keep. A collective swarm of resilience, a brotherhood reborn. Walking through the fire just to wake up in the morning. Through the fire just to wake up in the morning. Hold up, hit pause, broadcast the tear. Welcome to my channel, excuse me on the tier. We stream the reentry truth, the unfiltered reality. Over a century of combined time breaking the fatality. Comment below, drop a like, let the world know we're free. This is peer support in action, this is community. No guards, no towers, just the open sky above. Replacing decades of isolation with radical love. Just come and enjoy. Bring a blanket, take a seat. Feel the vibrations of 150 heartbeats. What Park is witnessing history. The struggle was real, but excuse me on the terrazine that hope us ill.
Yeah, there many believers saying to this right now who are still behind those walls, still sitting on that chair, still counting down the minutes until the next count. This one is strictly for you.
Look at what we are doing out here at Boys to Rank Park today. Look at these faces, 150 lifers, men and women who the state said would never see the sun without a fence around it. We spent decades in the trenches just like you. We know what it sounds like when the housing unit goes quiet at night. We know the weight of that institutional gravity. But I need you to hear me right now. Do not let that place hollow you out. Your life is not over, your story is not finished. Every single day you wake up on that yard, you are preparing for your resurrection. Keep your head straight, lean on each other, build that peer support right where you are standing. Because the brotherhood and sisterhood you forge in the fire is what keeps you alive. We haven't forgotten about you. We are out here clearing the path, cutting through the red tape and building a foundation, so that when you finally step through that gate, you have a place to land. We are living proof that the system doesn't get the final say. Hold your head high. Stay resilient, your tear is temporary. But this freedom is forever. This is excuse me on the tier. We see you. We love you. And we're keeping the light on for you. Tap out, stay safe, and we'll We'll see you at the next picnic. Peace. Thank you on the tier.